and welcome back to another edition of the Power BI Monthly Digest. My name is Devin Knight.
And I'm Manuel Quintana. We love having you guys back here for another rendition of this, right, where we dive into the new release for Power BI, and really think about the things that will make the most immediate impact, right? There's a lot in every release, and, you know, there is long blogs you can go out there, but we want to show you the things that are high-hitting, you know,
we consider the top feature, the new hotness I'm rolling with, the new hotness.
Absolutely.
Some features that I think we heard was the #1 requested feature is out this month. We'll take a look at that. Don't want to ruin it too much yet. And but let's get right into it. So let's talk about first some of the reporting features. What's the first feature you're going to show today?
Yeah, absolutely. What we can do on the reporting side, of course, let's head over to Power BI, and we're going to dig in. This is a report we've used before. If you've been with us, this is basically all around bookmarking.
Bookmarks, okay.
So the idea here, of course, is when we think about bookmarks, just in case this might not actually, it's a term that I don't think actually many people know. When you're creating bookmarks, there's really two approaches there. We can do navigational bookmarks, where we kind of have like an image here in this regard that links you to something else. Right. It navigates you within the report. Right. And then we have others that are really just meant for more of a storytelling perspective. But even though I'm dividing it into two different categories, when we look at the bookmarks pane, so I'll turn that on right now, and I'll minimize this so we have a little room here. We have to put all the bookmarks in one bin. Right. But naturally, you would think if we have two approaches to bookmarking, let's store it in two different places. And now we can do that.
I like that because people get really excited about bookmarks when they learn about them, and they go buck wild and start creating bookmarks. Dozens of them, and it becomes a big mess. So you're saying there's now a way to organize these?
Absolutely, absolutely. So in this regard, we have quite a few navigational ones. The ones all listed by state, those are meant for clicking those flags and navigating to a report page with some filters preset. But these lower ones here, these next three, are more meant for the viewing experience. So, you'd click here in the bookmarks, hit view, and you can see, though, I'm here, and I can move through these three. But then you see it's already gone. It's starting with California. These are not meant for storytelling. Right. So now I can go ahead and section these together. I have my navigational and my storytelling. And the way we do it, go right in here, pick the one. So I'm going to pull apart these bottom three, because they're my storytelling ones. Just holding control, so you can control click these, so multi-select them. And then by hitting the ellipsis box, we've got this new feature. It's right here. It's group. Just click it, creates a new folder. Nice. And we can go ahead and label that. So I can just go ahead and we can rename this here. Just going to call it storytelling, just like this. Now it's important to note that if I were to go here and click view, we still have 9 bookmarks. Okay. So the idea, I guess you would say the design of this is that the bookmarks area is still almost like a traditional container, almost like a traditional directory, where everything you see just in here that is not grouped is effectively at the root level. Okay, so it's kind of like a folder, subfolder. Correct. Okay, gotcha. So by starting at the very beginning, we're including everything we see at the root and the subdirectory, in this case, the storytelling folder. So if I only wanted to show what's in storytelling, I would just click here. Well, let me actually exit, and then when we start viewing from there, notice now there's only 3. Ah, so I see in the bottom left it says 1 of 3 as opposed to 1 of 9. I gotcha. Okay, I like that. And then if we wanted just to complete this out so we can get this nice and organized, once again, multi-select the rest, go ahead and click here, group it together, and now we have our second group, which, once again, we could go here and just call these navigation bookmarks. Simple. I like it. It's a good solution to when people kind of, like I said, create a ton, dozens of different bookmarks. Is a nice way to organize it. Really nice. Yeah, I like it. Absolutely. Very simple thing on the organizational front of things. Cool. All right. Well, the next one I think we're looking at here then is the #1 requested feature. Yes. The number one requested feature. So, so probably a lot of you guys work with people, and maybe your boss even loves to have reports printed and put on their desk. Got to feel it in their hand, right? Yeah. And previously to today, there wasn't really a great way to do that. There was some mechanisms where you kind of do it with dashboards and save a dashboard as a PDF kind of thing. Or the service, you can go as a PowerPoint. Right, you can do that. Yeah. But now, from the Power BI desktop, we can now export our reports to a PDF and print them. Absolutely. Super quick, super easy. And there's something of note. I'm going to do this. We can look at it here. I'm going to indicate a specific page, though, just so you guys know. So in all these, we're leveraging actually a feature from the last video. We're leveraging wallpapers. You might not have taken it in, but I have just a light gray here in the background. Sorry, let me use the right word. I have a light gray in the wallpaper. Yep. While I have my background still here. Okay. But on this third page, I took a different approach, which is becoming more common. I'm now using the wallpaper and I made the background 100% transparent.
Gotcha.
Basically, all I want to see is my wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
This has become a more common design pattern, but there's something, the reason why I'm pointing this out will become very apparent here momentarily.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and go File. Right in the main entry, right here in the main menu, Export to PDF. So they made it really easy, and it's going to go through each individual report page here and put it into a PDF.
Nice.
And I'll bring this up right now, and you're going to notice right away a main difference. First page, looking fine. If we go down to the next page, looking fine. If we go to the third, it looks fine only because of the design, but what's missing?
The background's missing.
It's completely gone.
Oh, really? It's what's missing? It's the wallpaper is missing. Yeah.
And it makes sense, though, if we think about why that's not there. Right. I mean, the PDF is meant to export our report pages, which does include, yes, the background, but the wallpaper is actually just something that's backlit. It's not actually part of the report.
Right. It's kind of behind the scenes of the report. So you're saying this puts to a PDF just the report area.
Exactly right, gotcha. Which is really important. Because what if I have a full, let's say, just a dark background, and I have a card display where the text is in white?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty much going to show up here invisible.
And I guess part of it makes sense, too, because you probably don't want to print this dark background.
Absolutely.
So
you're going to be running through those inkjet cartridges.
Yeah, there's some things you should take into account. Now, there's some rules behind this as well. So talk to us about what does not get printed.
Certainly, if you have any of your report pages marked as hidden, those will be completely excluded. And once again, just as a reminder, anything that's involving a background will not be included either.
Gotcha. Well, makes sense. That's really cool. So I'm sure a lot of people are really excited about that. The fact that it's the #1 requested feature, I'm sure you're excited about it as well. We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below when we get to the end. Which feature excites you most? So,
and there's actually going to be a little more about this later, too.
Yep.
Which actually I really like that piece. So we'll see that in a moment.
We're going to come back to that.
A mystery.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is themes. Now, themes have been out in preview for a while now, but they're now just have been made available, generally released, available. So they're exciting. It's been quite a long time.
It's been a bit, for themes.
Yeah, it's been in preview for, it feels like almost a year, maybe more, because people have come up with other websites to be able to supplement themes and things like that. So themes are now generally available. Not a ton to show, but I think we're going to show how to turn them on here, right? So just in case you haven't seen themes before and maybe your company is not able to use some of these preview features, let's take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we've done in the past, as you say, themes is now available. And actually, probably good to note, the purpose of themes is to centralize your design.
Yeah, good point.
To standardize your design process, right? If you know you always like this color palette, if you know you always use this type of text style, this type of padding, and instead of having to do that every single time, you create a theme file. Right. And there's some great things out there for for file creation that I found that are fantastic. Yeah. But that's its purpose. It really is a great purpose to standardize that process. And now we can do it. It's been there for a while, but now it's right here. It's going to be front and center for switching theme. But as a reminder, if this happens to be the first time you're joining us, the location for some of these, because PDF is generally available, some of these are going to be preview. You go into options and setting, options, and then once this loads up, we're going to see that there's this preview features area here. So we can see a couple things from the past that we've talked about. This was here for the longest of times, but now here she is. Great. Right dead in center.
That's awesome.
So now there are some readily available themes as well. There's a library available to you through Microsoft that you can just download some themes. They're labeled accordingly. That's what I'm going to show here real quick. It's a theme that just kind of takes a more it says red and blue, but it's more like an undertone maroon red. Pretty nice. Like an autumn theme, right? We're heading that way now. So we're just going to import theme. This is looking for a .json, or commonly known as a JSON file. So that is what's required. We go ahead, we hit open, and it's going to apply this across the board for all our visuals. If a new page is added, these themes are going to be taken into place. Now, it should be noted, this theme file, it can literally cover every app. That was one of the big changes, right? It's been in there for a year, but about 3 or 4 months ago, they added this new, almost, I'm going to call it advanced theme file. You can literally define almost every facet of every single visual type in this file.
Yeah, like font types, font color, all this stuff, even beyond just the colors you see on a bar chart and a map. It can go much deeper
now. You can make it specific to, I want this font for maps, I want this font for bar charts, I want this for lines. You can do whatever you want. So really, if you're thinking, if you're working, if you've been creating a lot of stuff and doing this very manual approach to each report, this is really something that you should be looking at so you can standardize the process across the entire enterprise.
I like this too because I'm kind of tired of Power BI always uses this off-color gray color for all the text. So I want to make it more of a bold black.
Absolutely.
I can enable a theme that kind of overwrites all those font colors. I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so the next feature we're going to look at is back to an oldie but a goodie is Slicer. So talk to us about a little bit about what's a small addition here to Slicers.
A very simple one. In order to demonstrate this, I can actually do this right here with this. So in this regard, this, of course, is a slicer. This houses my state values.
Okay.
This is right here going to be simply known as a drop-down slicer style. So, of course, we hit this. It's a drop-down. We have a second alternative here, which is going to be known as a list. Now, so what has been done here, because if we have this drop-down option, when something is selected, we can readily see it right there. The idea is ease of understanding what filter has been applied. Well, if we go to the list, what we have is this massive list. It doesn't, it stays true to its nature. But what's been added is this ability to restate, basically list visibly what has been applied in this filter area.
All right.
So for instance, now, the old way, if I were to hit Arizona, that's it. But if I scrolled anywhere else, I'd have to scroll through this to figure out what has been selected. Or, just generally just clear it if I needed to. But now what we can do is we can go into the properties of this slicer. So while this is selected, I can head over here to the formats, and I can find the slicer header. By expanding this, we can scroll down, and we're going to see filter restatements.
Okay. All right. I like that. And
we'll see it take immediate action right now.
Oh, I really like that. Okay. So now I can see what was selected, even though it's not clearly on the screen right now. I know Arkansas was selected.
Definitely not Arizona, which is what I said. This is not a geography class.
Arkansas is selected there. Hey, you can see it in the map too. I could have always just looked up, I suppose.
Yeah.
But no, that's helpful. I like that. That's a requested feature as well, which in combination with printing, I think that's a really good one because I would want to know when I print this up what's actually selected on the slicer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also lists, as we stated, there's no way I could extend this all the way out. It would go beyond, even if I use the entire side of this pane, I can't put this list up there.
Yeah.
So it could be for space saving purposes. Maybe you want to keep it so it is scrollable. You can now make it nice and tiny so only one would show up, but you're always going to know what's been selected.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the next feature we're going to look at has to do with something we talked about several months ago in the digest, which is about conditional formatting. So there's been some changes, some more enhancements to conditional formatting. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. When I saw the release, I was almost like, wait a second, didn't we do a video on this already? But the other one is conditional formatting by fields.
Okay.
Now this one is conditional formatting by field value. And and really, of course, conditional formatting, we're talking about coloration, right? We're using something, metric, some form of evaluation to decide, is it performing good, bad? It follows this idea of a KPI, right? So we can kind of easily display it. And this right here, what we see in this this Power BI report was the one that we showed.
This is the same one we showed several months ago.
This is the exact one we showed. So if we look at this matrix, basically, what is colored here, these are the amount of, we can see the amount of units that are being sold, but it's actually conditionally formatted based off of their performance in regards to profits.
Okay, all right.
So we can look and see, how everything's doing. So even though it's green or red, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a the numbers don't signify profit. We look at the colors, so we can see that. Now what we can do is we can do, and 95 to 96% of this will probably be leveraging some conditional logic here.
Okay.
Because we're going to basically look at a column, and we're going to format it by a value, basically a color from a field.
Okay, so the field value will actually return back a color name or a text color kind of thing?
It does actually accept, yes, both either this, like I guess you would say the literal string value, so blue written out, or the hex representation of a color. So that gets brought back, and that dictates how this should be colored.
Now my question for you is, how does it spell gray? Is it Grey or Gray?
This is something that will involve further investigation.
We will not be testing that today.
Further investigation. Stick to the hex value when it comes to gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can do it in many different ways. So if you actually have a column that says, like, lists out colors, like if you have products and it has a list of colors, you literally could now conditionally format it on itself.
Right.
Because it'll just read blue and then color it blue.
Yeah, I like it.
But the more appropriate way that I think this is going to be leveraged is going to be through the usage of conditions. So we're going to see here in this example, we'll focus on this table on the upper right, where I have a list of my salespeople, which we used conditional formatting to show right here for the salesperson how they're doing from a profit perspective.
And this was one of the new things several months ago, is you can now conditionally format the text. Now it's going to be a little additive here. So yeah, I'll see it.
So I have units. And units, basically, I want to place them in some sort of category, which is very common. A lot of times you might create a conditional column and do like a switch statement or an if statement to group them. Well, here what I've done is I have this units KPI. And if we look just really quickly at it, a switch statement, I have set up kind of some categories. If it's less than 150, if it's less than 200, what you would do here, we're giving it basically indicators so we can see it. So what I'll do is I will conditionally format this column by that calculated measure.
Yeah, I like it.
So we'll go here like we would normally. We'd access the conditional formatting. And this is where we're going to see the new option in the format by. We hit this drop down to field value, and we just kind of navigate through what we have as far as entities in our table here. And we're looking for this item here. It's really not much configuration. It's more of what's being returned from this item I'm selecting, in this case, this measure. And voila.
Nice.
Now, obviously, as data gets refreshed, as it surpasses or maybe goes below one of these thresholds, this is going to be updating.
Yeah. That's really cool.
And of course, I did the background. If we wanted, we could have done the font as well. But now we have this as well as by a field, by a value.
I like it. That's really, really cool. I like that addition. Yeah, you're right. When I first saw the meaning of, or what the title of the change was, I was like, well, what's different about that? And then looking more in depth into it, it's a really cool new ad. I like it. All right, so the next piece that we're going to look at here then is something that also has been widely requested. Those of you that write a lot of R code, you maybe have been looking for this to come eventually, which is some Python integration is now available in preview.
It is.
As part of the latest release as well. So talk to us a little bit about this one.
Sure, absolutely. Now, you might have seen it when I showed the preview elements that you could turn on Python. It should be noted that once you do have that turned on, as we go into the options and settings, we're going to see that right underneath R, we have what's now a Python scripting area where you just need to follow the same course, where you can list the directories and the ID that it needs to open. So there's a little bit of setup.
A little bit of setup, just like there was with R, but you have some instruction here on what to do, right?
Absolutely. These links will take you on how to do both of these. And I mean, if you've been waiting on this, more than likely you have Python, you've been using it, so you're going to be ready to go just by toggling it on.
Yeah.
So once that's set and in place, you will notice a couple of different things. The first that's going to be glaring right in front of us is in our visual section, we do have this capability of now Python visuals. So you can leverage this using things like ggplot, all these other type of libraries that allow for these data visualizations. You can now take advantage directly inside Power BI.
Very cool. I know quite a few people that have been asking for this, so that's really cool. So what is there anything else? Is it just the visual, or what else you got?
No, absolutely. So from here, we can also take advantage of this in two additional areas. First, in bringing in data.
Okay.
So I do is get data like I would normally. If we go into the more section just to kind of bring out all of them, it's not at the most commonly used part yet, but it might. And if we switch this, put in Python, it's there. And this is very simple. When we hit connect, literally it's an open text editor where we're meant to just put in Python scripts.
Okay, so you're likely writing that script somewhere else and then bringing it in here once you perfected it. Yeah.
There's no IntelliSense, there's no auto-completion, there's nothing like that. So absolutely, in whatever IDE or whatever you're using to write Python, make sure everything's good and hunky-dory there.
Yep.
And just copy and paste it over. That's pretty much what everyone's been doing with R. But yeah, now we have access with Python. And just in case we've been using this, Python's been around for a while. For those of you who haven't leveraged it, this is really a language that's meant for it's being used quite frequently with data science.
Yeah.
And analysis, right? So we can do a lot of data cleansing, statistical analysis, some really strong functionality that isn't natively available inside of Power BI can be done with Python.
That's really cool.
It can be done with R as well, but that's the thing. There was really two paths. Now both paths are there.
Nice. Now, you mentioned there was two other places that you can use Python. What's the other one?
In the query editor.
Okay, in the query editor. So you could do like transforms in Python.
Absolutely. Another strong element of Python is going to be in data cleansing, data replacement. Right here, as we can do that, you can see on the far right, you can simply just run in our scripts.
Nice.
So it's there, it's available, and once you get it set, once you get the data brought in, once you've cleansed it with all your Python techniques, you've got the visual at your disposal.
I love it. Man, that's a good one. That's a really big update here. A lot of people will be excited about that one. So yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so the next feature that we're going to talk about is Q&A. Now, you might have they might have noticed when you opened up the preview window that there were at least one fewer item. I think two items came off the list. One got added onto the list. The two that came off the list were the themes and Q&A. So Q&A has now gone generally available.
Yeah.
Python was now added to that list of preview features. So one item off the list. So now Q&A inside the Power BI desktop is generally available. You should be able to do that with. If you're not allowed to use preview features, don't worry, it's not preview anymore. You can now do Q&A. I think we've seen Q&A. You've likely seen Q&A before. So
it's probably second place to themes as far as longevity on there.
Yeah, and then the shape map has been on there for a long time too.
It's still holding strong.
Yeah.
It's still holding strong.
Yep.
But it's there. So if I'm certain a lot of you have already been using it, no little box to check anymore. It's ready to go.
Very cool. And then the last thing that we're going to show and talk about today is data categories on measures. So they've likely worked with data categories when they're working with geography fields or links that need to be marked as a URL. So this last one, we're going to talk about if you have a measure value that is actually maybe text or a categorical value of some type and you need to set that category.
Yes.
I think it probably makes more sense to show the purpose of this here. Let's go ahead and look at the demo.
So in this section, we'll head over to modeling, right? This is where this is going to be. Now it's probably going to feel a little more familiar. If you haven't done it much of it, oh yes, I have clicked that. and really it's what Devin was talking about. We're either going to categorize geographics, which is a very common element. So if we go over here to my state, we can see I have this capability of, is this a city, state, address? Very common for geographical purposes to aid in the reduction of ambiguity when using geographic data. But we also have at the bottom web URLs, image URLs, as well as barcodes. So that's really where this is going to be coming into place because we're going to be leveraging now in this regard calculated measures. Of course, the pattern that's used is going to be a little bit different, probably unique. But if you have a measure that's effectively populating a URL, one pretty common example I actually saw here was the usage of basically, in a sense, a Power BI report calling to another Power BI report using URL parameters.
Okay.
There's a really great blog that they've done with that one. But now if you could have that inside your Power BI report and click it.
That's great. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And not only that, not only can you click it in your reports, you can click it in the PDF.
Whoa! So the export to PDF feature that we showed earlier, you're saying you can actually click on a link in the exported PDF and it works. Oh, you got to show me this. You got to show me this.
Let's tackle this one. We're going to go ahead and I have this very simple calculated measure. It's just hard coding this just for the sake of the demonstration. But if I select this and I have this hidden. I was hiding this from you guys.
Guy.
Yep. I have this little table here.
Okay.
So it's already set, but what it is CURL measure. If we go to modeling, traditionally, this was grayed out. You couldn't do anything with a measure. And this is how it would be presented. Yes, it's a link, but I couldn't do anything with it. Now, we simply select the measure in question, choose the appropriate categorization, and it's not image URL, it is definitely web. And we'll see it should update immediately, and there it is. And if we click this, we're going to see we're brought to our very own Power BI blog for this item. If it decides to go, it's all right. If it doesn't populate the screen, that's a good thing. Oh, there it is. So the very updated self here, we can see Amanda herself. But yes, if I go here now, while this is open, File, Export to PDF, it's just going to quickly create, it's a 2-page PDF here, not too fancy. And we're going to see right off the bat, there's my link.
Oh, and it's clickable. I like that.
And
that's
there we
cool.
go, right within the PDF itself.
Very cool. I like that a lot. Very cool. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the updates from the August Power BI desktop update. A couple things. First, want to make sure, remember, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe below.
Please.
Also set up notifications. Make sure you're notified when we release new posts.
Hit that little bell.
And like I said, comment below. We want to know what are some of the things that you liked about the new updates. What are some of the features you're most excited about? And my name is Devin Knight. Just a reminder, I'm here with
Manuel Quintana. And also one thing.
Yeah.
We might not have mentioned this, but if you have any great use cases from this video, you've learned these examples, you're like, oh, wait, I want to try that out, and you've got some really neat, fun examples, let us know.
Yeah.
It could be a really good thing that possibly could be showcased.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you guys stopping by. See you in the next video.
Thanks a lot.